Coming up on Together with Karen Leigh, when is a teddy bear much more than just a stuffed animal?
His name is Brownie, and I got him on the ambulance.
When they arrive in times of crisis, like a frightful trip to the hospital.
It was comforting having the bears for him and for us.
I am so glad I got the chance to meet Riker, and you're going to be thrilled to meet him too. He is an amazing kid. Well, nosebleed turned into near death for him, but along the way, he has buddies, Chocolate and Brownie, two small stuffed animals who made a really big difference, thanks to the Teddy Bear Patrol.
Initially, he just had a severe nosebleed.
It's truly a parent's nightmare.
Suddenly, everything's quickly going downhill, major bruising and bleeding and really scary blood work. He went into cardiac arrest during one of the tests and was taken into the pediatric ICU, and then he went into cardiac arrest again. Things didn't look good.
Terrifying.
Yeah, worst
feeling you can ever imagine.
Ryan Smeltzer was diagnosed with a rare blood disorder, and after a terrifying time in the hospital, he's back to being a precocious 6-year-old.
Brownie and Chocolate were the best teddies ever.
Riker came out of the hospital with two new best friends, Brownie and Chocolate. How important is it for little kids like you to have a Brownie or a Chocolate when you're at the hospital?
Brownie and Chocolate were so important.
They never left his side, even during all the medical tests and the procedures.
It was comforting having the bears for him and for us.
Even now, more than a year later, you'd be hard-pressed to see Riker without his teddy bears.
He sleeps with them
every night.
I sleep with one right here and one on my face.
Do you like this?
Yeah.
I love him so much. Well, we wanted to learn more about the Teddy Bear Patrol, so we've asked Rebecca Peterson with Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children to join us today. And you see Riker talk about his bears, and you really get why they're so important, don't you?
Oh, I love it. It's such an incredible story. To be able to give a child something in the most traumatic phase when they're so scared with the ambulances, all the firemen and EMS crews, to have something that they can hold on to and comfort them is just priceless.
Mm-hmm. How did this idea come about, if you remember?
You know, that I am not completely sure. I know Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children, we've been doing this for a few years now, and working with all the EMS crews, I go out and I teach a lot of the crews throughout Colorado, and we just realized they don't have the resources to give comfort for the pediatric children. They would blow up gloves and make that a little balloon animal, and that would be their toy for the kids. So being able to give them something comfortable and that they can keep like baby Riker and have throughout his whole journey was kind of the driving force behind the Teddy Bear Patrol.
Yeah, so you knew there was a need that needed to be filled there.
Definitely.
And then you talked to Riker. People might say a teddy bear, not that big of a deal. You know, how can it mean so much? But it does, doesn't it?
It means the world to them.
Yeah, it sure does. So tell us how we can help. I know we have a big effort going on here soon, so let's talk about that.
So what we're doing is asking everybody through the entire state of Colorado to donate new stuffed animals to any of the Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children locations, Health One, and our Care Now urgent cares. Or you can actually come to our facility, Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children at Presbyterian St. Luke's, on September 14th between 10 and 1 for a free event. And this actually allows you to drop off the stuffed animal, but it's a family event. There's going to be crafts, games, CPR, hands-only CPR, first aid for kids, which is really important, as well as casting stations, so they can actually put on a cast so it's not as scary, and a chance to tour our ORs. So it also gives the kids an ability to go to the hospital in a non-scary situation to help bring down their anxiety, God forbid, if they ever do have to go to the hospital.
So important. Rebecca, thanks for coming in and talking to us about it, and grab one of those teddy bears if you're out shopping. Well, we love it when we get to know a little more about our first responders, especially when they cut loose and have a little fun. When a 7-year-old was showing off on the 16th Street Mall, this police officer shared his moves. For the officer, Jaden, and his mom, that impromptu dance recital was about coming together, even if just for a moment.
I was shocked.
I felt like, that little moment was big for me, because sometimes you go into work, you don't always, get all the the nice reactions from the public, but one little moment like that, really makes my day.
We see a lot of negative things out there on the media about police. So this is something that makes you smile when you see a police officer getting friendly, dancing with a kid, just enjoying life.
Pretty awesome. Small moments make really big impacts that last much longer than we can all imagine. Well, when you're down on your luck, the world can seem like a pretty dark place. But we know Colorado is home to many points of light. One of those places is the Bridge House in Boulder, and its goal is to get homeless people back to work. Kathy Walsh explains how they're helping get people to make sure they are ready for that new job.
At the Community Table Kitchen in Boulder, staff is working at a variety of jobs.
We have a whole catering division that does public and private events for folks. We also cook all the meals that we serve in our other programs.
The food they make is a labor of love.
You work together. That's what I like about the kitchen work. So it's like every day is new. You learn new skills.
The skills they learn are building toward a career.
If you fall, they pick you up. They don't yell at you about it. They pick you up and they help you find your way.
While everyone's story is different, all the workers here have one thing in common. At some point, all experienced homelessness.
My husband died. I immediately became homeless.
Nessa lived on the streets for 3 years.
Part of the problem with being homeless is that you begin to believe that you aren't worth it.
She found help through Bridge House and the Ready to Work program.
After this year-long transition program, when someone graduates, they have their own full-time job and full-time apartment that they've moved into. And so now that's self-sustaining.
Nessa rebuilt her sense of self-worth, learned some new skills, and now works full-time in the kitchen.
Having your basic necessities met makes a big difference. Knowing that you are someone that someone can see makes a big difference.
Well, being a part of a community, isn't that something we really all want to be a part of? Having pride in the place that we call home connects all of us, as Matt Kroschel found out at one very special spot in our high country.
Buena or Buena Vista, however you pronounce it, it's a mountain town full of pride.
We have a very colorful history.
And the folks who call it home want to make sure you know more about its place in our state's history.
It gives you more of an idea of why stuff happened, and it also just shows you what stuff used to look like.
How they're sharing their story ahead on Together.
Well, seeing a problem and solving it adds confidence to young lives, especially when it can pull together future plans. Micaiah White knows one young man already making an impact on his future career choice.
It may look like play, but this is actually an important lesson for Arrow and his human partner.
The dogs are always just like, they're always so serious, but then they're also so friendly at the same time.
And it comes courtesy of an Eagle Scout who sees a future in law enforcement.
I would really like to be one just because I want to give back to the community and protect others.
That's ahead on Together.
Well, speaking up for those who can't, it's an important lesson all of us can learn. And sometimes you just have to hit the road to make a difference.
Well, yeah, people stop all the time and want to talk to me about what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to accomplish.
At the age of 71, William Shuttleworth decided this would be the summer that he walked across America. We caught up with him as he made his way through our high country, and we found this veteran shining with positivity.
Walk across the country, you see nothing but fantastic goodness and kindness and graciousness.
That's next on Together.
Together with Karen Leigh, sponsored by Canvas Credit Union. We're Canvas, and we've got you covered, Colorado. Go live.
Well, this summer, we met a man on a mission. 71-year-old William Shuttleworth decided that he needed to get a close-up look at our nation, so he's walking across the U.S. That included coming right through Colorado. This walk is to highlight better medical care for our veterans, but William says that he has learned so much about our country and the people in it along the way.
Throughout the country as I walk, the number one thing I hear all the time is the struggle veterans have in obtaining proper health care. I have the gift of being healthy. So many men that I'm walking for don't have that gift. They came back wounded. I have this one ability to communicate, to walk, and to be resilient enough to do this walk. As I'm bolstered by what I'm doing and the people that I meet, the love that I see in America.
Often other veterans will join him for a mile or two. William started his journey in Massachusetts, and he reached his destination at the USS Midway Museum just within this past week. All right, Lauren Whitney joins us now. We want to see some of your photos. We know that you send us some in of you out and about enjoying yourself this summer. The summer's wrapping up.
I know. Kids are fully back in school. Yeah. Colleges have started. Everybody is back to work. Let's take a look outside of some of our pictures. This is from Megan Sarr, some of her kids and her friends' kids at the Longmont Fire Department. You can see her little guy Griffin sitting down there, and it looks like a great time. They said a wonderful tour. So Longmont Fire Department, big thank you for being such welcoming hosts.
Yeah, fire departments are great like that. They always want the kids to come by so they can start teaching them things.
I know. They might have some future firefighters after that tour. And I was asked to show some wedding pictures. So this is from my wedding a couple of weeks ago at Union Station. Our wedding photographer, Laura Murray, took this picture. And I really loved my hairpiece, so I wanted to show it off a little bit. But it was such a magical day, and we're still loving getting all the pictures and all that fun stuff.
Oh, you are so beautiful. What a beautiful day for both of you.
Thank you. And then here's a great one for you. This is Karen and her daughter, Elle. You guys went to the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, and you made a new friend.
Yes, we did. You know, you give them food and they hang around.
Yeah, they really like you then. I've never been there. Is it worth the trip?
Oh, totally. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Really, really a fun time. And they have a little baby giraffe out there, too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
A great little weekend trip, and now the kids are back at school.
Super fun. So much fun up there. So, Lauren, thank you for those pictures. We appreciate it. Well, it's always great to see young people taking action to help others. In this case, it's a story of how a teenager is helping canine officers. So stick around. That's ahead on Together. Coming up on this week's Together for Colorado calendar, start your week by volunteering at the Harvest of Hope Pantry in Boulder. Join them Monday morning. Take time for a stretch in the middle of the week. Just head to Hudson Gardens for an outdoor yoga class. And Saturday, tackle a muck-tacular course filled with all kinds of obstacles. Muckfest benefits the National MS Society. You can find out more about these events by visiting the Together for Colorado section of cbsdenver.com. Well, saying thank you really goes a long way and can brighten someone's day. Here's proof of that courtesy of the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office. The deputies were surprised to receive gift bags from the kids in the after-school program at Willow Creek Elementary. These bags full of treats and artwork, while the outsides were covered with well wishes. The gift bags brought smiles all around, and the deputies say they were really surprised. And they really appreciated the thank yous. And they ended the post saying that they are truly speechless. That's not the only help the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office has received from students recently. Turns out one young man with a desire to help others by going into law enforcement decided not to wait until he was older to get started. Micaiah White explains how Aiden is already helping canine officers.
Good boy.
2-year-old canine officer Arrow and his handler Gordon are used to trying out new toys, but this big toy isn't just for play. It's a specialized scent wall.
There's 12 holes, and there's little elbow pieces that come down that are on the back, and then there's little capsules that hold drugs in them, and then they have a little grate at the bottom that lets the air filter out through each hole, so the dog can't tell like which hole the drugs are in.
Kilo, good. Here. The dog has to put his nose right in that hole, sit and point at it with his nose and not move.
Aiden Smyrnios came up with the idea as part of an Eagle Scout project. He was inspired by a greater desire to give back.
It makes me feel really good, especially when I first saw it worked, and B actually works really well. So that was a very good feeling to see and feel when I saw it work for the first time.
And by helping out, he also hopes to inspire a change in others.
Because it's like more safety and stuff. So that would be something I would want to change, you know, so people feel like they're always safe and not just like, ugh, there's law enforcement nearby.
Well, Micaiah tells us this is just the beginning for Aiden. He is already planning on taking community college classes so that he'll be ready to join the Thin Blue Line to protect and serve. Well, what if Colorado State Reptiles found itself in a world of hurt recently? How a sharp-eyed family helped this little guy out. You can find more information on all of the Together for Colorado stories featured in today's show by visiting our website, cbsdenver.com. Communities large and small all across the state burst with pride for the role they've played in our state's history. And one town in our Rocky Mountains wants to make sure that everyone knows its story. Matt Kroschel takes us to Buena Vista.
It doesn't always cooperate.
At 12 years young, Jacob Young behind the controls of this model railroad.
There we go.
That takes up an entire room.
It was created by 3 men about 20 years ago. It took them about 8 years.
The trains represent the entire Arkansas River Valley, from the mines up north.
It gives you more of an idea of why stuff happened, and it also just shows you what stuff used to look like, as well as motives for why the courthouse is a museum today.
They're housed safely inside the Buena Vista Heritage Museum, alongside artifacts reminding everyone of the rich history this place holds.
We have a very colorful history. It all started when we first became the county seat. We ended up holding the sheriff and his wife up in Granite at gunpoint to steal the court documents that we had won in the election.
This museum houses those reminders from the past, but the staff here is well aware of the changes happening in the present.
It is a very different beast than, 10 years ago. It was a completely different atmosphere. And now, Buena Vista is coming alive. And it's great to be able to share our stories with all the people who are coming to visit.
Streets are full of visitors coming to experience this special mountain valley.
What better way to hang out in a museum than on a nice museum rainy day?
They're adding to the story that is Buena Vista.
Well, Buena Vista speaks to the beauty of all of Colorado's nature. There's plenty to appreciate right in the city. Take the Highlands Ponds in Westminster. That's where Ashton found a native painted turtle in trouble. Had a fish hook in its throat and fishing line coming out of its mouth. So Ashton and his mom got a hold of animal officers who took the little guy to Golden View Vet Hospital. The turtle got the care it needed and was able to go home to its pond. Big thank you to Ashton, his mom, and those veterinarians for taking care of this troubled turtle. The Denver Rescue Mission works tirelessly to help the homeless in our community, but it recently had to give a big shout out to another nonprofit. All these boxes are full of undergarments and pajamas, thousands of them, all to help the women who use the mission. The generous donation came from I Support the Girls, which collects products women need so they can stand tall with dignity. We want to give a big shout out to both organizations and thank them for all that they do. And now I want to take a moment to thank you, our viewers, for tuning in every week. And I love hearing from you, especially when you send me your feedback, like this kind note from Patricia Hoffman, who writes, "Our world now is so full of fear and uncertainty, but this wonderful show you have, it's given us, is causing waves of encouragement." Patricia, I'm grateful that we're making a difference in your life, so thank you. And thank you for joining us on Together. I look forward to seeing you next week as we have more powerful stories of how people are coming together for each other. Until then, we leave you with the sights and sounds, but unfortunately, not the smells and the taste of our favorite festival, the Taste of Colorado.
So delicious.
It's 100 degrees out here. And this is about to be a turkey leg moment.
They just kind of melt.
Fruity pebble, Rice Krispie, marshmallow, Skittle deliciousness. I don't know what it's called, but that's what I would call it.